Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and today I'm doing another investment video. Now as far as this video goes, I want to mention real quick, I'm going to be making an investment channel all to itself. The reason why it has to deal with, I think YouTube is screwing with my views. I'm not 100% sure if it's just the content and people don't care for stock market videos, or because it's mixed with technology videos and all the other that might be screwing with it, or it might be the recommendation system. But I figured the best way to solve that is by having its own channel and go from there. And depending on things, I might end up just not uploading any more investment videos after this to this channel. So note that. The link will be down below to the investment channel, so feel free to check that one out. Now, as far as this goes, what should you know about exit strategies and how can it help you? Well, what is an exit strategy? An exit strategy is basically whenever you buy into a stock, ETF, or whatever it may be, you can't really do anything with it until you sell it. And this is very, very important, because if I go down, like say McDonald's, I can't say, oh, I have a share of XYZ and try to buy a hamburger with a share of XYZ. Go to McDonald's and try to buy something with gold flakes. You might find an idiot or here or there that will accept it, but overall you're probably going to find more than not they won't accept gold flakes, let alone shares, even though they both have some value behind them. Ask yourself why. So as far as this goes, we need to set an actual exit strategy. An exit strategy basically prevents you from losing any more money than you have to, or you can say that you want to sell at a given mark whenever it goes above a certain point. And this is useful. Now, you need to do some basic math, and basically for every 100 shares you have, if the stock goes up, or ETF or whatever, goes up by 1 cent, then you gain $1. If it goes down by 1 cent, then you lost $1. For 10 cents, you gain or lost $10. And for $1, which is 100 cents, then you gain or lost $100. So let's say, for example, if I had a stock and I had 200 shares of something and it went up by $1, then I will automatically gain $200. And if I sold at that point, then I'll just have to subtract whatever the commission fee is, if there is a commission fee at all. So this is a big thing to note. So with that, you need to know what are you okay with losing. So if you're only okay with losing $100, $200, $300, something like that, then fine, you need to keep that one in mind. But you also need to keep in mind, what is the regular swings? So is it going from here to here a regular swing, or is this a regular swing? This is something that you need to note. Or is this small thing, is that a regular swing? These are things you need to note, because if you sell too early, then you can actually run into some problems. So for example, I actually, I don't know if it was this one or further back, but I actually sold about right here on this particular stock, by the way, a while back, and the thing went down a little bit, it automatically started going up. So if I did not sell it with how much I had in it before, I would actually had $400 more in value than I have today. Now I sold at a profit still, but still I'll be looking at $400 more value that I can sell with now than what I had before. So that's an important thing to note. Even though you might sell something at a profit, you still technically lost money because there's a potential profit. So that's a big thing to note. Now, as far as this goes, one of the most common things that traders use is what's called trailing stop losses or trailing stop limits. Now, I'm talking about stop losses real quick, and basically the big thing with trailing is all it means is, say for example, if the price was at $56, if the thing goes down, if I said a trailing stop loss at $2, this means if it went down to $54, so if it was 56 originally, when it's down to 54, then it will sell then. However, if the thing went from 56 to 58, it will have to go down to 56 to sell. So it follows it going up. However, what happens is if it's at 56, it drops to 55, it didn't hit a 54, so it didn't sell, but the thing started going up, it wouldn't influence this number at all. It will have to hit that, or it'll have to hit its max and to start influencing it one way or another. You'll have to hit it, like, it'll have to be 56.01, so 1 cent, for this to, for 54 to change to 54.01. But if it stays in here and just does nothing but stays in between those two, then it won't influence this bottom number at all. It's very, very important to note that. And what you need to note is whenever you set up a trailing stop loss, if you're okay with losing a certain amount, then fine. But if you have enough of a gap and you feel like for example, $2 is a pretty dramatic drop. So that's enough of the gap, and I got one at $2.34. So basically what happens is if it was to tank right now to $5.95, I would have a $11.70 gain. Now the thing is since we're looking at a gain, we need to know what is commission fee. So for those of you who don't know, commission is something that you gotta deal with in any brokerage, and I'm not gonna get into all that. But basically, if your commission fee is like $5 or something like that, like in this case it would be $5, unless if I hold the stock for 30 days or longer. Well, basically what I'll be looking at is I need to make sure it stays above the commission fee, so I have zero negativity. I don't have to pay any money extra out from the loss. I can just, call it a wash, or, at least get whatever minor amounts back. This is a very, very important thing to note. Now, get into here. If we scroll on down a little, basically, in fact, it looked like it actually went up a little bit, which is kind of cool. Try to take a look at that. Yeah, I guess it went up a little. But looking at here, if I actually set the trail amount to $2.34 right now, I'll be looking at a $2.34 loss plus any commission loss. So I have to add the $5 commission to it and call that. So it's a big thing to note. Now, as far as that goes, one big thing to note is how to set up a trail stop loss. This depends on your branch, but for the most part, it's going to look similar to this. You just need to know the quantity that you're okay with selling at that time, the trail amount. So the trail amount is, as I said, if I'm looking at $2, so if we switch this over to $2, then it will be somewhere around this area of $54.17. So and then it will say that this will be the gain from it. Now, big thing to note is you need to make sure that they're good until cancel. Otherwise, you'll run into some problems where if you don't set it good to cancel, then it will actually kill itself at whatever time and force you have. Most of the time, it's like for the end of the day. So make sure that way you don't have to keep coming back here every day and setting it. Because again, this will keep trailing up until this expires, which is what amount of time? I think 6 months or something like that. And as far as this goes, I might have all or none, but it's up to you on that. One thing I'll recommend you take a look at is the actual blocks, because the fact of the matter is if you take a look at the blocks, basically you can see how much is sold, how many stocks is sold at a given time normally. In some cases it's like 100,000, some cases a lot less. But if you get into that range, like 10,000, 100,000, whatever it might be, depending on the thing, then you might want to set it to none or something like that. Otherwise, it won't sell at all. But given something like this, 117 shares, yeah, that's nothing. It will have no trouble selling all that. So anyways, as far as that goes, hopefully that's helped you out in understanding this. And again, for those of you who don't know, trading in the stock market, it's more about knowing the charts and anything else. It's less about knowing a company's output and stuff like that. It's more about psychology, people, what they think about a given company, the company's reputation, immediate reputation, and the big thing is how long is the company going to stay alive. And that's really the only profit part I could find through it after doing 10 plus years of stock market stuff. So as far as that goes, if you got any questions, anything else, then feel free to leave that in the comment section. But I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have a great day.